Many of my relatives and friends in Indonesia are small to medium-sized business owners like shops, goods distributors, or boutique property developers. They employ between 5 to 30 employees. One of their pains running a business is managing their blue-collar work employees, from not turning up to work on busy days, stealing, withholding company's assets when they quit, or dragging their feet to pass the time. Of course, all of this also happen in other countries. What I want to share with you here is the way they manage their blue-collar employees in Indonesian way, which I don't see here in Australia, partly because informal employment plays huge part in Indonesian economy, up to around 22.6% overall. The figures is even higher in some industry like agriculture and home-based industry. In developed countries, even casual employment needs to have some sort of contract in place to define your pay rate, entitlements, and so on. But with informal arrangement like what my friends have in Indonesia, everything is based on good faith and mutual agreement, often just verbally. Having said that, even if they do have formal employment in place, it's often ignored when situation escalates. No one likes to enforce it by going to court. If you are a foreigner considering running your own business in Indonesia, then I hope you find this video insightful. Before I start, let me be clear on two things. First, blue-collar workers I'm referring here are people like warehouse personnel, shop assistants, handyman, any roles that don't require high formal education. Second, this is not a legal advice on how to manage people. I'm just sharing what worked for my relatives and friends to varying degree. Now, let's jump into how to manage blue-collar workers in Indonesia. Number 1. Introduce Uang Makan on top of their base salary. Uang makan or meal money is a euphemism for a pay for turning up to work. It's paid on top of their base monthly fixed salary. This pay structure is common among warehouse staff, domestic workers, and small shop assistant roles. Let's look at this slide for comparisons. Let's say the weekly pay package is 500,000 rupiah, or 50 Australian dollars give or take. Instead of paying a lump sum at the end of the week, like what is shown on the left hand side, what you do is break it down by $250,000 base salary and daily uang makan of 50,000 rupiah when they come to work. My relative is a small business owner employing 5 staff, but in any given week, there's always someone not coming to work for various reasons. After a while, it becomes clear there is a pattern. They are more likely not to turn up after a long weekend public holiday or when they know there will be busy days ahead. My relative don't mind if it is a genuine personal emergency or they tell him in advance. They get that. Everyone has a life outside work, but being sneaky and avoiding hard work is not acceptable. Since introducing meal money, absenteeism is cut by half. It's amazing when they realize that their meal comes from work. Number 2, make everyone take a pay cut for missing stock. We call it potong gaji, literally means pay cut. It sounds harsh and unfair, but even Indonesian giant mini-market Alfamart has this policy as well. I was shocked when I heard this policy implemented in my friend's warehouse. It feels unfair to honest workers. It comes to this point because having CCTV everywhere does little to deter stealing. In Australia where I live, businesses take out business insurance to take care this kind of scenario, but many small to medium-sized businesses like my friends feel the benefits don't justify the premium. So they resort to potong gaji, no cost, no tax solutions. Few weeks after potong gaji policy, they find no more missing stock. In perfect world, we should investigate the missing stock case by case. But they have a business to run. They can't spend the majority of their time putting out fire. If repeated warnings don't work, then potong gaji is the best preventive policy that you can have. Also remember to renew employment contract to include this clause for existing employees. Number 3, record and bluff when things go sour. Let me tell you a story. One of my friend's distribution salesperson resigned and withheld the company's motorbike as a bargaining chip, demanding his salary being paid immediately. For context, my friend's company policy requires 1 month notice and any short-term outstanding receivable is settled before resigning. Well, this ex-staff obviously breached the contract, but he doesn't care. In his mind, all business people are rich, corrupt, and can take a hit. By that logic, they deserve that treatment. This mindset is not uncommon among blue-collar employees. Employees are generally in weak bargaining positions. One of the few they have is more power, like must protest if you work in factory or inflict pain like what happened to my friends if they feel they won't get what they're entitled to. By withholding company's asset, this ex-staff just want to increase his odds of getting his last pay. I was there listening to their phone conversation when it happens. My friend quickly put this ex-staff back to his box by telling him this phone conversation is recorded, which actually not, including the part when his ex-staff admit withholding company's motorbike. For good measure, he told him to keep the motorbike as evidence. He'd rather see him going to jail for doing this to him. That motorbike is just uang kecil buat gue. It's just a spare change for me, he said. To be clear, my friend didn't mean any of this. He bluffed, he made a threat because it works based on his similar experience dealing with this kind of crap in the past. And I can report that it works this time too. His ex-staff returned the motorbike in the next day after the phone call and apologized for misunderstanding. So what is my take on this? Let me start by saying we need to treat everyone with respect, regardless of their position, and also understand small business owners' frustration having to spend so much time putting out fire. I often come across being naive when I suggest things like give them at least 3 warnings, might. Probably because I'm an employee myself, so I am sympathetic to fellow employees. Tension between business owners and employees is nothing new, but because of Indonesian high-power distant work culture, where the bottom is expected to listen to the boss without a fuss. Not to mention, our culture loves to maintain the appearance of harmony. Me, looking from the outside, this tension feels like a class struggle where resentment's just waiting to bubble up at the right conditions. Business owner told me they take risks running small business and just want to make a living like everybody else. So they don't appreciate being taken for a ride. While blue-collar employees feel like they are being exploited to the bones with few tools at their disposal to level the playing field. But what do I know? I work in Australia. If you think the tactics are too harsh and you know better way, please leave them in the comment. I promise I will pass it to my friends and relatives for them to try. That's it for me, guys. Please give it a like and subscribe if you learned something new. I'll see you next time. Bye.